What's up? So today is October 3rd. It's Friday. It should have been NFP Friday, but I guess because the government shut down, they don't release non-farm payrolls at 8:30. But we did get 10 a.m. news, which is ISM services PMI. I forgot to pull up the chat. I'll go over my bias in 1 second. So I really don't have anything marked out. So I guess we swept previous day high already on ESNQ. And today's Friday, and since we're trading at all-time highs, I would kind of expect today to be like a retracement day. Because like this weekly candle, I'd expect a pullback toward the end. We already kind of have a pullback though, but on the daily, yeah, the daily candle flipped already, so that's kind of bearish. Did we? Yeah, we inverted this 4-hour gap too. Definitely bearish. Yeah, so I'm definitely bearish today. This would have been the first target, but that already got hit. I mean, from there though, I could easily see us going down to these lows over here. So I'm probably looking to take shorts today. Oh, he said, Tim, what's up, bro? He said, no work for me today. I guess, is it any. Why are you off today? Just taking the day off? Yeah, at this point, though, I'd like to see a retracement into like a 5 or 15-minute gap for me to take shorts. So we're not really reacting off this low at all. You said, yeah, bro, recoup had bad day yesterday. You said, fill me in, bro, what you got? Like for my like trading, like bias, or like in general? Yeah, you said moving into Asia lows and yeah, bias. Honestly, yeah, we did take Asia lows. So I mean, I feel like on the downside, yeah, I mean, I feel like there's not too many more targets from here. I mean, the only other target I could see is coming down here, but I feel like for me to target down there, I don't want us to see us react off Asia lows. So I'm pretty much just waiting to see how we react off Asia lows now. And like I honestly, I'm not so confident. Like I really wouldn't take an immediate rejection off Asia lows. I feel like I'd have to wait. Like if let's say we reject off Asia lows and like invert this 5-minute gap, like then I'd start looking for longs. There's an SMT with London highs. I guess it's yeah. It's basically London highs. Yeah, so we opened up this 5 minute gap, so that's pretty much my condition. You're back again. What's up, bro? Yeah, so I'd say at this point I'm still pretty bearish. I'm just waiting for a retracement to take a short. Yeah, so for me to take a short, I at least want to see let's pull back to unfold 5. You said love the dedication to going live this week, man, with the shutdown. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like I didn't pick a good week to start going live pretty consistently, but and you said Q&A, who or how were you introduced to trading? Well, I guess the first time I got into trading was all the way back in like 2018 because my mom actually used to like kind of do like active investing, and I feel like she would always be like, "Oh, get into like stocks. You should learn about investing and all that." But I was never really interested, and I don't know why. I feel like when I graduated high school, I felt like I had to get serious about life and finances, and then I like started messing around with option trading from there, kind of snowballed. At first though, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just throwing money around on options though because it was fun. So we're probably gonna open up another 5 minute gap here. So that would be like another condition I'd look at. Sometimes I'll pay attention to like premium and discount. Like let me draw like for example, like in this range, I'd like to see retracement to equilibrium. But honestly, today I feel like we're gonna dump so hard, we're not gonna come back to EQ. We'll just, for example, like come back into like this gap right here, and then just keep going until we sweep these lows down here. You can see we're just displacing straight down with very few retracements. And if we don't give me any form of retracement on the 5 or 15 minute chart and we come all the way down here, I'd consider taking, if it looks like structurally good, I'd take a long maybe. Only if it looks really clean though. Yeah, so now if we come back up, sweep out that high, and then immediately like V shape back down, I would definitely take a short like that. And I bet for us to come back up and retrace and hit that unfilled 5 minute, if I see like this 1 minute get inversed, I think it'll probably happen. You said love your setup, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I used to be like the biggest computer nerd before I got into trading. So like at first this was like a gaming setup, and I converted it to like trading setup pretty much as I got older. So what's the most expensive part of your setup? I mean, it's probably my computer. I don't. I feel like the value of the parts have gone down because like my computer's pretty old, but like I have like a 980 Ti, and like back when I bought it, I want to say I paid like $400 for it. I mean, overall, my computer's probably worth like back when I bought it, it was probably worth like $2,000. But that thing's pretty old now. So we haven't given me the retracement I wanted yet. And this one appears about to become an unfilled 15-minute gap soon too. So honestly, I think we're gonna get a retracement because I guess we inverted this 1 minute gap over here. So we're probably gonna come up and tap the unfilled 5. I'm not gonna take this. I'm just looking at something. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I take trades like this. I'm not going to today. Yeah, but like, cause we inverted the highest time frame gap separating us from this unfilled gap, but I don't like how bearish we are today. It wouldn't even filled me, I bet it. I feel like if it's gonna fill me though, I feel like it'll just stop me out. If it would have. It was kind of the same trade idea I took yesterday though. It was literally, I think it was the same thing yesterday where it was a sweep of Asia lows and the highest time frame gap got inverted. And I just set a limit at 1 to 1. Same thing. I just don't feel like doing that again today. Of course it's gonna work out though. You said why not take today's trade if it's the same? I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm less confident in longs on a Friday when we're dumping at all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. I feel like at first I didn't like the reaction, but yes, that would have hit right there. Honestly, though, I feel like today I more want shorts because I feel like we're gonna go further down. Yeah, I don't think Asia lows will be low of day. I mean, in hindsight, though, I probably should have taken that. Let's see if we open up a 1 minute gap here. So we're not opening up a 1 minute. There's a 30-second right here. I might take this 30-second. Maybe. This stops tight. This 30-second does not look clean. Does it? No, it doesn't. I'm not taking that. Um, Now that I think about it, though, honestly, I do regret not taking this. I really should have taken that. And I hate there's no clear gap in this leg. Like, I would so take an inversion if there was a clear gap here. But, like, I don't see anything clear enough for me to take. I hate it there's no gaps in this leg. I hope it doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we chop for the rest of the day. Or at least until, like, noon. At least, like, right now, we're probably going to run this low resistance liquidity over here. What's up, Trade University? How are you? You said any trade, please let me know also. Honestly, I was gonna take a trade, but I hesitated. It was kind of the same idea of the thing I took yesterday, where we swept Asia lows, and then we inverted the highest time frame gap, and then I was trying to set a limit at 1-to-1 to target the unfilled gap. I just didn't feel confident in it for some reason. Honestly, I shouldn't have hesitated, but Yeah, I haven't taken anything else since then though. I haven't taken anything at all, I should say. You said, how do you approach passing a prop firm? Like, how do you do it? Aggressive? I'm honestly pretty aggressive. I feel like if it's an account where I'm really okay with losing it, I'll pretty much risk like the max that would be like allowed, if that makes sense. Because I know, like for example, at Alpha Futures, like you can't risk like the whole daily drawdown, but like let's say I'll do like half the daily drawdown, do two trades. But yeah, I usually go pretty aggressive. But sometimes though, if let's say I'm going for a stack of accounts where I'm getting trying to get like three accounts and they're like bigger size than I'm used to, I might go a little less risk. You see, what's my entry model and strat? I'd say I trade ICT concepts and I just look at fair value gaps and liquidity essentially. So I mean, like I look at like 5 minute and 15 minute gaps, and from there I go in the lower time frame and look at like 1 minute gaps. And you said how long does it take you to pass an account on average? I feel like if I'm like really like full porting that, I can do it in like a week. But I feel like normally like 2 to 3 weeks. Because like honestly at Top Step, I really be full porting those accounts, and it takes me like 2 days at Top Step. I don't really trade Top Step as much anymore though. We're probably gonna run lower. I feel like it wants to run these stops down here, all these lows. I feel like it looks more clear in the 30 second. You said ES and Dow with NQ are against each other in moves for today. I usually don't look at the Dow to be honest. What? Why is the Dow in the sky? What? I didn't even. That makes no sense. Okay. Am I looking at the right thing? Okay, whatever. That's weird. Yeah, that probably is why it's chopping. I wonder. There's no SMT at the lows. No, you. Yeah, there's an SMT at those lows. Yeah, you said ES is not moving in the direction. Yeah, because yeah, ES is going up pretty much. NQ is consolidating down here at this point. It was going down. I knew once we swept Asia lows we were gonna chop. I kind of knew it. You said still waiting for my trades. We'll wait further unless price action will be formed. Yeah, I mean right now, wow, I like this. If we can tap into this gap up here and reject back down, honestly, I don't want to short though when ES is moving like this. Nah, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna short when ES is doing that. Hmm. Hmm. You know, you know, is there gonna be a 2 minute forming? Actually, why am I liking this so much? Is there gonna form a 2 minute? What is that? There's no 2 minute. Yeah, there's no 2 minute. What is the stop size? I'm gonna try to short real quick.
Order filled. Order
I feel like
filled.
probably be in for more cons, to be honest.
Order filled.
I don't know if this is a good idea, to be honest. Um, said here we go.
Order submitted.
Yeah, so there's my stop. I'll just go for these lows down here. I feel like I'm a little lower risk. You said, bro, I respect your patience, bro. I appreciate that. Honestly,
Order
I definitely should
submitted.
have taken that first trade though, that rebalanced off London lows. But I just like the reaction that we had because like so we're rejecting from this 5 minute gap. I know we came close to this gap up here, but we rejected all the way down. We're holding the 5 minute gap, and then if we like zoom into this leg right here where we came up recently, we inverted the highest time frame gap. There's that 1 minute gap, and like there's no 2 minute, no 3 minute. It's not looking too good so far, but in theory, though, the main thing that should hold us back is this order block. So I feel like the main area of rejection I'm looking for is the equilibrium of that order block, which, like, as of right now, we're holding. And I'd say, like, the last line of defense would be the 50% of that wick right there. It could reject off that, maybe. You said once you take a trade, let it breathe, either stop loss or target. Yeah. I'm not closing early. I feel like I just mentally like to think, like, where could this bounce from? You said he is scared. A little bit. I mean, if we're going to do that, I'm not that scared. So just give me like a doji here. And honestly, I'm not going to take a second trade today, but if this fails, like the main reason, honestly, it failed if it's going to, was we came so close to this other 15-minute gap up here, and we never touched it. I just liked that I feel like we immediately just came right back down though. I feel like I like the way that looked. Said most probably the market will move to the upside, but don't worry, let's see. I mean, yeah, right now it's not looking so hot. If you can be wrong. Said you get mad anxiety when I trade, when I don't follow my rules and take a bad trade. Yeah, honestly, I feel like the anxiety when you trade just never fully goes away, but you definitely learn to manage it better over time. So it would definitely give me more confidence in this trade if we can close below this up close candle right here, and then in theory that should act as an order block. Said, have you watched the ICT 2024 videos? Honestly, I feel like I haven't watched ICT in a long time. I don't know if that's necessarily a good or bad thing. Ooh, I like the close of that candle. But what makes you ask though? I guess do you think there's some sauce in there, or like, am I using some concepts from there? You said if anxiety doesn't come to you while you're in a trade, you're not a real trader. I mean, yeah, that is true. Because if you don't care about trading, I mean, ooh. So hopefully, I got so many drawings over here. So hopefully, we'll reject out of this order block. You said, I literally don't understand and got in my head of any ICT concepts. I just do price action candlesticks. I feel like everything works different for different people. Like ICT might work for me, but a different person it might make no sense to. Like there's other things that I make no sense to me. Like I could never trade trend lines. I don't know how, like some people do it, but I could never. Yeah, I'm probably cooked here. I think, did we just put in another SMT at the high? Yeah, so as of right now, there's an SMT. You said, why can't you trade trend lines? Because you don't like the concept and understand it. I feel like when I did try to trade trend lines, like when I first got into trading, I was looking at trend lines and I just never could find success with them. I feel like now sometimes I use them where like if there's like a bunch of stacked lows, I think it's gonna get ran. And like once we get down there it'll flush through it. But you said NQ just choppy? Yeah, it is pretty choppy. Oh, interesting. You said, I mean, it had good insight regarding how price action moves after 4 a.m., how it lays out liquidity areas, and how open will cut buy side and sell side before taking off. I can definitely look into it. I think I'll have some free time. I could do that. You said ES is in direction along with YM and Q's and chop. Yeah, because ES, I feel like if you zoom in and just look at NQ, this setup doesn't look that bad. But like if you factor in how ES is moving right now, it doesn't look that good. You said I like ICT because it gets technical and sometimes he says the right thing can be your aha moment. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like ICT is the only thing that ever kind of gave me a good click, like where it kind of made sense and I found success. He said, guys, I don't like ICT. I mean, everyone trades differently. You don't have to like ICT. Heard he's a scammer. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, I'd only say that because he has so many videos on his YouTube for free, and he gives out so much information for free. So did you hear ICT said Bitcoin will never hit 100K? Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's seen that, but I mean,
Order
he might be good
filled.
at trading, but
Order canceled.
doesn't mean he's necessarily good at like crypto and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he's more old school, yeah. But I got stopped there, so we definitely wanted to retrace to that 5 15 minute gap up there. I mean, dude, ES and YM are just shooting for the sky right now. Yeah, so honestly, in hindsight, I definitely should have taken the other trade and just called it there for the day. But what are you gonna do? And I am not down to take any more shorts off that. I'm done for the week. But I guess I'll recap what happened today. You said he just give another name of price action to ICT and SMC. Well, I mean, I feel like you said like market structure or CHOH and BOS. Yeah, but I feel like market structure at least doesn't like you said, stop loss, no worries, stick to the plan. Yeah, yes, sir. But ICT, I feel like he incorporates like fair value gaps though. And I feel like price action doesn't look at those, and I feel like breaker blocks and stuff. But it's more like an accumulation zone, I guess. But so when I traded today, I waited for 10 a.m. to actually happen because there was news coming out at 10 a.m. There was ISM. But so when I first came to the charts, I saw that we inverted this 4 hour gap right here. So that makes me pretty bearish, to be honest. I feel like if we're going to invert this 4 hour gap, we're at least going to come down to these lows down here, at least in my opinion. And then on the daily, we've been moving like straight up like this. See, we swept all-time highs, so we're basically at all-time highs. And on the weekly too, part of the reason I wasn't that bullish was because like this weekly candle, I feel like the weekly candles, I mean, there's some exceptions, but I feel like they usually leave a good wick at the top, like typically at least. And this one, I guess it had a good wick, but I feel like Fridays can be retracement days a lot. So keeping that in mind, I saw the 4 hour get inverted, and then yeah, I mean, I wasn't saying like I didn't believe this 1 hour is gonna hold when the 4 hour gets inverted, but well, I guess it actually never mind, it did get inverted. But yeah, so on the smaller time frame now, so we had 10 a.m. open, and then we swept. It was Asia lows, so we pretty much swept like London, Asia, all different form of lows, and then in this leg right here, so I'll mark out Asia lows. So in this leg right here, when we came down, we inverted the highest time frame gap when we closed through that 1 minute right there. And then yeah, you can see like there's no 2 minute in that leg, there's no 3 minute, there's no 4 minute gap, and there's no 5 minute gap. So then in theory, we should retrace this unfilled 5 minute gap. So but I don't take trades that aren't a one-to-one risk to reward. So I was gonna set a limit at 1-to-1. Right there, and it would have gotten filled right there, and it would have ran. But I hesitated. You said Friday with end of month like October's that would fall. Not always Friday will fall. I mean, yeah, not always. There's no like hard and fast rule that always works. But yeah. So I set my limit. Well, I would have set my limit there, but I never actually took that setup, only because it was honestly it was a combination of me not wanting to take longs on Friday and also me just hesitating and being human. And I should have taken that setup in hindsight. Like reviewing it, I think I should have taken that to be honest, because we didn't rebalance any of these gaps in the leg, and it was the same setup as yesterday, like someone said. But yeah. So then I faded that, and then once we actually, he said lesson learned, yeah. And then so when we actually did get that retracement, that 5 minute gap, so that was pretty much my condition. So I saw that we started to reject out of it, and then we opened up. It's a really small one, but we opened up that 1 minute gap right there, and like right after we create that gap, we invert it. So I love taking inversions when we immediately invert it, like the next candle after, because I feel like those are the stronger inversions. So like create the gap, immediately disrespect it. So I was gonna go break even when either ES or NQ took that internal low, but that never happened. But yeah, so I mean, and yeah, and same thing. This was the highest time frame gap in that leg. Like there's no 2 minute gap, no 3 minute gap, no 4 minute, no 5 minute. So since all the gaps in this leg got inverted, I was ready to take a short. And I also saw that there's relatively like stacked lows down here. I feel like it looks more clean on the 30-second. So like there's some relative trendline liquidity over here. So I thought once we come down here, we're just gonna run all those. But yeah, it didn't happen. So yeah, I ended up hitting stop loss right there. And another thing I should have paid attention to with this second trade was there was this unfilled 5 minute, but was also an unfilled 15 minute. So I feel like honestly sometimes when we get really close to another gap and we start rejecting away, it's gonna sweep it and then maybe come back down after. So I feel like sometimes if we're gonna come that close, it's just gonna hit it eventually. And today was one of those times. But yeah, honestly I'd say it was a weird week with the government shutdown, and there was technically supposed to be 8:30 or 8:15 news. I want to say 8:30, but there was supposed to be news, but it didn't come out because the government shut down. But you said how many minis do you use to pass Top Step account in 2 days in a trade? It does depend on my stop loss size, but on a 50K, I guess I'm probably risking like let's say 3 minis. Well, if it's like a tight stop loss, maybe 5. But I mean, honestly, I just look at my stop loss and I calculate how much am I gonna risk whatever the max drawdown. At least on Top Step, I risk the max drawdown of the day, on the eval at least. And then I do that 2 days. So I'm basically like risking 2,000 to make 1,500, and do the same thing again the second day on Top Step. Because part of the reason I do that though is because like the eval at Top Step's $50 and the activation fee is 150, so you're paying the bulk of the expense once you pass. So like I have no problem throwing out $50. You said, "Oh seriously, great bro. 5 minis will give me a heart attack." It's honestly like when you go such high in minis, it'll be over quick, and like honestly though, I'm really okay with losing the $50. It's just $50 for a Top Step eval. Like I'll pay it 3 times and not think about it. But you said Alpha versus Top Step. Me personally, like I think Alpha's a better firm. There's a couple reasons for that. I feel like they have some rules. You said, bro, Alpha Zero is a good account. Yeah, so a couple reasons I like Alpha Futures. One, when you request your first payout, they don't actually move your maximum loss limit. Like every other firm, they move your maximum loss limit to like the starting balance. But at Alpha Futures, let's say you're up 2,000 and you still have $2,000 of drawdown below zero, so 4,000 total. If you request 1,000, you're gonna have 3,000 drawdown. Where if you do the same thing at Top Step, they move your like maximum loss limit to the starting balance. So at that point, you'd only have 3,000 or 2,000. I mean, but yeah, but the Alpha Zero account, I like that for a lot of reasons. So like, there's no activation fee. I think the pricing's great on it. And they give you a payout cap, so that's kind of how you get that lower price. Oh, and you said you did 2 minis, bro, green, but thanks, good, bro. But yeah, the Alpha Zero account, so you get to pay a cheaper price, but you have a payout cap. So on the 50K account, the payout cap is $1,500, and then on the 100K account, the payout cap is $3,000. So like for example, the 50K account, you're paying all in is $99, and then if you use my code TIMBY272, you get 10% off. So it's gonna be like $89 for a 50K. Or if you go to the 100K, it'd be like $199, 10% off is like 180 pretty much. You said you're thinking of buying 3 accounts that they allow you to trade DAX or yeah, honestly, I'm not too familiar with what that is. I feel like the CFD prop firms might be more likely to let you trade that, like the forex style ones. Yeah. Oh, but one other reason though I like Alpha 2, I feel like they're really well run. Like I feel like not many people know this, but they're actually building up a trading floor in London and they're talking about like they want to bring up like their top traders like to this trading floor. You said you have to buy Eurex data of 23 bucks. I guess is that monthly you got to pay that 23 bucks? Yeah, I'll definitely reply to your DM when I get the chance. Dollar X1 said monthly. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I'm surprised. I feel like not many prop firms charge you monthly, unless you're like on a live account. I know one thing that is cool with Top Step. I don't think that any other firm does is if you do get moved to live, they pay your professional like I forget what the exact like professional data fees or professional subscriber fees or whatever it's called. Yeah, you said totally not worth trading today. Price action sucks. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm definitely done for the day. Yeah, and you said nope. They removed it recently. Oh, really? Well, I wonder if that was. Oh, wait, yeah, yeah. No, you said no professional data fee on live. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, though, I feel like no other firm is doing that. That's one thing Top Step stands out from, besides being in business for like forever. Yeah, but honestly, I think I'm gonna call it here. Before I go, does anyone have any questions about today? You said, all right, time to have a good day, bro. Take time to recoup next week. Be better, fam. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by, bro. Have a good weekend. But anyone else have any final questions before I head out here? Should see you later, Tim. Yeah, I appreciate everyone stopping by. You said I sucks on passing prop firms. I mean, as long as you have a good strategy, it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, just focus on making sure you have a profitable strategy that you're trading. So as I take more than 10 days to pass accounts, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking more than 10 days to pass accounts. Just focus on making sure you know your strategy works over time. Like do some back testing and stuff. Do some demo trading maybe. Well, I mean, you like do demo trading, but make sure you do some back testing. You said you open 8 to 10 micros max. So I mean, yeah, like I guess just pretty much like review your win rate, review like your risk to reward and stuff like that, and then see like what your expectancy. You said you always focus on max points captured. Well, I mean, if you're journaling everything, like you could look at your journal and say, hey, like maybe if I took profits earlier, like if maybe I started going for 1 to 2s or 1 to 3s or whatever works better for you, you could like review that data and see what findings you have from that. Yeah, but I think I'm probably gonna get out here and go about my Friday. But I appreciate everyone stopping by. Check out Alpha Futures. Use my discount code. I also have my Discord linked to the pinned comment, so make sure you check out the Discord. Also, you said your win rate's 45% with a 1 to 2. That's really good. But join the Discord in the pinned comment. I appreciate everyone stopping by and have a good weekend, guys.